Oklahomans love pecans. Part of that may be because they're native to the state, but I think that those of us who didn't originate in Oklahoma have found pecans to be really good too. So I don't think it really matters where they came from, they just taste good. Now the only problem that I've found with pecans is that they're harvested in the fall. But I don't want to eat them just in the fall. I want to keep them around for a long time because I like them year-round. I like them in all different kinds of foods. Now many of us have a favorite pecan recipe, whether it be a pecan bread, whether it be a casserole that includes pecans, whether it's a chicken breast that has pecans crusted on it, or whether it's our favorite fudge or brownie or just a toasted pecan. We all have a favorite. We want to keep them good as long as possible. Now in the shell, the pecans will keep the longest because they have a protective coating. There are three things that will affect the keeping quality of pecans: moisture, air, and light. All of these things will affect it. Temperature also has a big impact on it. If we can change any one of those, we can stretch the time that the pecans will keep for us. The thing that most people do is to crack them open, which shortens your storage time, and then we affect a longer storage time by changing the temperature. Most of us freeze them, and the larger the pieces, the longer they'll keep in the freezer. In shell, the pecan will keep at room temperature for probably about 2 months, and then make sure that it has good quality. It may keep a little bit longer if you're lucky, but if you want to make sure, you want to change the temperature on a little bit. Once you crack that open, you can cut that storage time in half. So the room temperature on a half pecan, if it's a good quality one to begin with, and room temperature is probably about a month. If you put it in the freezer at 0 degrees in moisture vapor-proof packaging, you can extend that storage time for as long as 2 years, maybe more, so that you have a good quality pecan much longer. Another advantage to freezing them in moisture vapor-proof packaging is that you don't pick up the odors and the aromas from other foods in the refrigerator or the freezer, so that you have something that still tastes like a pecan when you're ready to use it. Now, the importance of moisture vapor-proof packaging also goes to where you keep pecans if you're having them in a shell. If you're going to store them out in the garage, in a cool garage, or in a cool pantry, make sure that you're not keeping them right beside the onions, because they will end up tasting just like the onions or any other strong flavored vegetable that's near them there also. So store them well away from strong flavored foods, no matter how you're storing them, or make sure they're in glass or a very heavy-duty plastic or a good sturdy plastic freezer container, so that they keep quality for as long as possible. Now, as you can see, we've broken them down into different conditions here. The halves are going to keep the longest of those that have been cracked open. Now, you can also in many instances get pecans that have been cracked, just cracked in the shell, and they really don't keep any longer than if you go ahead and take them all the way out. So there's no advantage to doing that for you. Now, as you break them down, the length of storage decreases substantially as you go along. And the finest ones are going to be the shortest keepers. Now, the way to approach that then is to leave them as intact as possible. These are going to keep the longest. Put them in your freezer in this condition, and if you're going to want them in this condition when you cook them, go ahead and break them down further when you're ready to use them. There's no point in shortening the storage time any more than you need to. There's lots of ways to use pecans in Oklahoma. We want you to keep them as good as you can for as long as you can and enjoy them year-round. For Oklahoma Gardening, this is Barbara Brown.
We hope you enjoyed this video. It's part of our OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. You can also find more recent videos on our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.